let it drop. Let it drop.
Welcome back to another episode of From Chains to Change. I'm Dr. Matthew Green, joined by my associate,
Marcus Simmons, a.k.a. Chachi.
and we have a great guest today, Mr. Kiana Calloway.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here today.
Yeah, we were just talking, first time seeing our new set.
Cool. I love it.
I know.
I love it.
Today we are going to talk about a lot of different topics. We're going to have Kiana tell us a little bit about his background, but especially how it relates to current events, how it relates to the Karmelo Anthony trial, and how we see the youth sort of issues going wrong with the criminal injustice system, as a lot of people have been talking about it. But Kiana, why don't you tell the folks at home a little bit about how you came to vote, your background, what's your story?
Well, first off, I am definitely directly impacted by our injustice system here in Louisiana. At the age of 16, I was arrested for 2 counts of first-degree murder on robbery suicide, and ultimately found guilty of those charges. Sentenced to serve 2 lifetimes without the possibility of probation, parole, or suspension of sentence. And it's a correlation of just understanding the layers that are in place right now, right? Because when we talk about these systems are multifaceted, right? The things that happened to me in 1994 happened to my uncle in 1974, which is, continuously happening because the lenses of in the lenses of discriminations inside of these systems, they're broad, right? But the thing about it is that all wrongs eventually find its way to right? They say lies have no end, but the truth has a stop sign. Right, so that's where we're at right now. And even in my life, like I've been home now 16 years. May I add, we'll get a little bit back into my case. I was convicted to serve 2 life terms in 1996. In 1998, my case was remanded and set aside, meaning that the case they didn't have enough merits to convict me out of the gate, right? And that's kind of strange within a 2-year time that somebody can give back 2 life sentences, what ultimately showed that at 16 years old, I never should have been in prison.
Right.
May I add, wrongfully convicted, wrongfully apprehended, wrongfully arrested, violated all of my due processes against I had no constitutional protections on me at this age, and to top it off is that ignorance is not a chance of law. And my family had no idea of the criminal legal system.
Yes.
And it brings me to the fact that when we look at this system of gain, because everything dealing with our criminal legal system is a system of gain, monetary, right? We're dealing with fascist ideologies, we're dealing with capitalist ideologies, and when we're talking about young black boys, we're talking about poverty. We're not talking about potential. We're not talking about future.
Right.
We're talking about how can we gain off of these young black boys. And at this particular juncture, school to prison pipeline was kind of like materializing in the 90s, which we can see now the overflow of the school to prison pipeline with individuals that have been in prison now 20, 30, 40 years, all a part of that experience.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm 16 years now, my case was remanded in 1998. I went back for second-degree murder, tried for second-degree murder, and they found me guilty for manslaughter, which basically was a compromise verdict, right? We know you didn't do this, but we can't just let you out.
Right.
So we're going to give you 34 years. You've been in prison 7 years now. Go on back up there, do 11 more years, and then you can have your break at freedom. And I think that was the click for me, because being in prison at such a young age, right? I understood what an individual was in so many different ways, meaning that in so many situations, I had to take myself completely out of prison and be like, where would I be now 18 years old? Where would I be? How would I react if somebody was to walk by my bed slapping these slippers? Because that's my current reality now, right? And that was hard for me, you know. I can remember I had a conversation with the brother Teen Roy. He was in the he was in Walnut 4. And he said, man, I remember when you first came to the walk, he said, every Saturday you used to give everything away in your locker box. I'll make store on a Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever our store day was. And Saturday I give everything away and telling them, man, I'm rolling out tomorrow, I'm going home tomorrow. And I did that for like maybe my first year.
Yeah.
Until I realized, I can't sit in me nothing like that for me to keep getting my stuff away. But I understood that fate without work is dead. And I felt like that was my fate. Not only just me believing that, but actually plugging in with brothers like Mr. Norris Henderson and Chico Yancey, Calvin, all these other individuals who were very influential in my life to say that, brother, the only way you're going to get out here, you got to get yourself out of here.
Right.
You can't depend on no lawyer. You can't depend on your mama. You can't depend on me. And that was Chico telling me. He said, the first thing I need you to understand is understand the word shepherdize. Shepherdize. I'm asking everybody what shepherdize means. You know? But it's just actually understanding how to review these law books on this level, right? Find a case that look like yours. I said, I'm going to find my cases and you ain't in the book yet. It's going to take you a minute to get them because this was 96. I was convicted in 96. But I use these stories to really bring into full-fledged how influential individuals have been in my life, which has ultimately brought me to this change piece, right? Because all of the individuals that I met while I was in chains, if they were on a straight and narrow while they were incarcerated, man, they've done super magnificent things right now, right? And that's what I mean by also breaking generational curses, because we are the curse breakers. We are the curse breakers. So now here I am home. I've been home 16 years. My sentence was 34 years, so I had to serve 7. Act 138, so I had to serve half of my sentence incarcerated, and then the remaining of the half, which is the 17 years, will be on parole.
Right.
So I have less than a year left remaining on my parole, while I still continue every day to fight for exoneration, coming up with new information on my case, being my own PI in the communities, and trying to figure out if I can ruffle up some more information. And it's just like a cycle of how can I be the change that I want to see every day. And that's what I wake up, that's what I tell my sons before they get up to go to school or to camp. Everybody do like, hey, KJ, remember, be the change that you see. Right? So you can't expect nothing if we can't see it. And that's also the correlation to the story on why I gave all of my belongings away. My soap, my deodorant, my scents, my Snickers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving that away. Like some dudes used to be waiting. And Key, the day said, don't make sure you come holler at me. You know? And I'm sitting here with 2 life sentences. So, but really, in all actuality, man, so kind of answer the question like about me, right? I feel like I'm an abolitionist. I'm a civil rights advocate. I believe in human rights. I believe in fairness. I believe in equality. One thing that I don't want to get fogged into is this racial rhetoric, because we're no longer trying to drink out of the white water faucets. We're no longer trying to go into the white bathrooms. It's a systemic racism that now, man, it is weaved into the fabric of our criminal legal system. And that's what I'm addressing. You know, how can we as people believe that love, hugs, and empathy can bring us out a lot of this torment that we've been in? As this political climate gears up, like there's no love in our state capital. There's no empathy in our state capital. You know, people travel across the state, man, to come out there and pour their hearts out, man. And we have representatives that have probably got in about 1 or 2 votes, you know, and they're just sitting up on the text messaging on their phone, they're not paying attention, and have a sidebar conversation, and you have a mother, grandmother who just took a 3rd mortgage out on her house because her son is dealing with a substance abuse problem with no resources in the community, which ultimately landed him in prison because he had a mental health episode. So these are the stories that should be like, okay, so how can we work with these families and come to some type of resolve, some type of mediation? But instead, they want to over-penalize, they want to over-punish. They're showing that they want to grab our kids as young as 8 years old and put them in prison until they're, as old as we are now, and that's not a state that we should be in.
Yeah.
Not this time.
I think about, I mean, we've talked about it a lot on this show about the need for empathy and humanity in all walks, because the criminal legal system really is a testament to how we view others, what we're willing to do to others, and all the bad sides, right? All the really ugly parts of things. I mean, the state capitol is full of people who will tell you all the horrible things. And for them, right, like I think for a lot of them, they've already zoned out from the humanity. So it's just checking boxes in some ways. Now, I want to ask you a follow-up question, because you, and we're going to talk about the Karmelo Anthony case a little bit, but being convicted as a juvenile and then experiencing that system and then experiencing the adult system also, you go through a lot as a young adolescent, teenager, where you're not even fully knowing who you are as a teenager, and then you're having to discover who you are in a system that's supposed to constrict you and bind you and not give you any freedom.
Well, the system designed to make you a monster, so that if you do get out, you're gonna
You can come right back.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you could share a little bit with folks about what that process was like, because it's a unique thing to experience. Not a good thing to experience, but it's a unique thing to experience and to bounce back the way you have.
So I was raised in the faith here, Harlem. I want to really shout out my grandmother's, my mom, and my father's mom, because that was kind of like my shelter. That was kind of like my tool, my dictionary. Everything that I needed came from them, right? And I always watched my dad's mom, Miss Rowling. She wakes up. I used to always spend time with her. And she used to wake up every morning at like 6 o'clock, and she'd do prayer calls, right? And at this time, she had a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. So if you were in the front room, you can hear her making calls in the kitchen, right? While she's sitting down, she got the white bread and the coffee with no sugar, black, right? So when I wake up to go sit in there, she already got my slice of bread and my coffee, and I hear her make phone calls, right? And one thing always stuck with me, she always quoted, "Thou shalt walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil," right? That's how I felt when I walked inside of the detective bureau the very first time I was, apprehended. This is different to me. So this is the words that now I have to really stand on. I have to stand on faith. I have to stand on hope, and I have to not be I can't be fearful, right? A lot of things that that really kept me protected was just ignorance. Like I didn't know, here I am, 16, 17 years old in these trial proceedings, and I don't understand nothing but objection, sip stones. Everything else was like a Charlie Brown. And I'm in trial. My first trial had to be about 13 days, man.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
And then by being a first-degree murder trial, then I had another 7-day penalty phase.
Yeah.
Which determines if I'm going to get life or death.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And then I had to come back to a compromise, to a psychological evaluation. And here, this is before 17 years old.
Right.
So this entire juncture was like, who am I? So I was more so in seclusion of myself to figure out who am I, because this is my faith now, right?
Yeah.
And I know that I can't be weak, So the best way that I can't be weak is show no emotion. So sometimes I may not say nothing to nobody for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Now it's a thing of, who is this?
Right.
Who are you?
Right.
So and I feel like what I tell young people today, so and also my uncle, he mailed me a book when I first went to prison, when I first went to jail in 1994, and it was by Dr. Naeem Akbar, Changing Images of Psychological Slavery. Small book, 148 pages, but that book became a manual for me, right? Because it's showing the differences between how can we separate our physical from our psychological.
Yes.
And I think that was the biggest piece for me. And that was a sentence in that book that said that you can not put my feet in chains, my hands in bondage, but you can't imprison my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really stuck with me and gave me that inclination that, man, this is not going to break me. And I've seen individuals around me broke. I've seen on the bus ride, me and Eric Brown, he's solid. He just come home off of me and him was 16, 17 years old, riding on the bus together there in Coleman. Both of us had life sentences. There was another 17-year-old on the bus with us with the life sentence. When we woke up the next morning in cell block C, he was hung. He hung himself, the other young brother, because that's the type of environment that brings.
Yes.
You said it best. The system is created to make you a monster.
Yeah.
You know, so the ones, and that's why every time I see you, I give you one of the biggest hugs ever because you survived it. Yeah. You know, when I see all of my brothers that been through this space, I try to give them the love that they need to say like, hey, brother, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're on, there are so many barriers that prohibit us to become successful on the I guess on the normal standpoint. But there's so much that we understand that without resilience, we wouldn't be where we are. Mm-hmm. Right? We know that, okay, I can let this bend me. I can't let it pop me. So I got denied at this time. I got denied that time. I got denied this time, right? And that's kind of like how I started working with really volunteer with Voice of the Experience in like 2015. 16, it was more so, I can't find nowhere to work. You know, here I am, I come home from prison with 8 different degrees and 14 different certificates, you know, all labors, fiber optic cabling, small engine repairs, you know, AC and all. Like, I can do this. I can break down a whole lawnmower and put it back together, piece screw by screw.
Still can't get it.
But here I am, I put into Goodyear or, you know, or into Rodell, and I can't even get a job because of what the stigma of being formerly incarcerated holds, right? And being able to fall into the lap of such a supporting organization at this particular time, they were just starting. Yeah. You know, when I first went to vote, we were volunteering at desks in the office, right? At Corpus Christi. So, but it was a process, and I'm trusting the process, and being able to continue to see that I didn't have a car. I'm still living in my mama. Only thing I had to do was sometimes get there, and the building and the energy was going to take care of the rest because it showed that, man, we love you. Yeah. You know why we love you? Because we understand. We are you. We are you. You see what I'm saying? And that kind of gave me the mindset to say, okay, now that I found this space, how can I build off of it? Yeah. Right? ABCD organizing, right? Asset-based community development. How can I build off it? What is working? You know, so I sat next to Mr. Norris and Anthony and Chico and Bruce, and I just listened, you know, trying to soak it up and figure out ways that I can become the best volunteer as possible across the channels.
So I'm working out at my gym, looking at the news, and I'm looking at the media because they put a little pre-snip of what they're going to talk about in the next 10 minutes, and it's the new video of the Karmelo Anthony Case that surfaced.
I was curious in this whole conversation sitting with y'all two today because, as you mentioned, Ray, like part of this case was self-defense versus, you know, premeditated, right, all that. But part of being able to claim self-defense is who the jury and who society sees as the aggressor, right? And so these perceptions of Black males and Black boys and who is the aggressor and who actually can have self-defense becomes a really important question for a jury, right? Without like, if I always see Marcus as the aggressor, then I'm never going to be able to see you as needing to defend yourself.
When I first heard about it, the first thing I did was grieve for the families, right? You know, let's care both family, both and the Anthony family, right? Because now they just lost both of their sons. The families are victims in this entire ordeal. And I feel that if a weapon had to be, if a kid had to carry a weapon, then we need to have a conversation.
Right. Yep.
I don't care if it's a knife, if it's a slingshot, if it's a gun. When you're under the age of an authorized weapon carrier, we should have this conversation, right? What's the problem? So and that kind of gave me the idea that this ain't just happened at this event. For this young brother to have a knife on him. Like, what is situation?
It was a track event.
What is
situation? There's no reason.
There's no reason. There's no reason. So what are your circumstances? Yeah. Do you have to walk home in the middle of the night and you feel like you need safety? You know, what is the home dynamics?
Yeah,
What is
why
the
did you have
community?
the knife?
Why? Now, see, that's the question. When I asked myself out the gate, when all of that happened, and it hit me, this was last year when I first heard about it, right? And I'm like, well, damn, why did the young brother have a switchblade? And the thing about it is, like, it even spoke about it in your trial. The young brother was not even fluent enough to even handle the knife, because the knife, his hands was all cut up. The knife wasn't even open completely when he actually made this the thing. So he didn't even have time to open it up.
Right.
You know, because the switchblades, they pop up and they got the safety, right?
Yep.
So he didn't have time to open it up or get it straight or premeditate it or whatever. It must have been just a bang bang.
Yeah,
type of thing.
it just happened.
But why do you even need that?
Right.
Do you fish? Are you adequately fishing? Are you hunting? You know, do you like to throw darts? Like what? And that's what I mean by like the peer support. Even right now when we talk about masculinity, like I facilitate masculinity sessions in my community once a week, every Tuesday from 6 to 8, right? And that's the thing, to let these brothers know that you can cry. You can say I'm sorry. You can not allow your pride to have you in a situation to where you lost 20 years of your life. And I've seen that happen a lot, right? But the only way that you can have take full advantage of these authorizations of your life is that you have to be open enough to be transparent and vulnerable.
Yes.
How can we create safe spaces for these young people where they know they come into here and they can say, hey, I have been the worst of the world. I have been touched, you know, and not feel like they're going to be judged. I'll say, hey, I am being bullied, and not feel like they're being judged. And I feel like that's the spaces that should be created through these young athletes.
Well, that's going to be that's going to be a hard fight again, because I always go to the true culprit. That entertainment industry. That's the true culprit. You know what I mean? You know, because it's not cool. It's not cool to have a daddy. It's not cool to be vulnerable. It's not cool to be passive. You have to be brute. You have to be, you know, it's not cool to just be average. You got to be over the top. You got to jump in with both feet, regardless of what it is. You know, in this new era, man, this new era, from what I'm seeing, is so addictive that the little girls are becoming the new boys, the new guys with the masculinity.
That's
you know what I'm saying? I don't even.
I was just thinking about the social media and how many people live their lives with an image. Like, it's not okay to be boring anymore either, right? Like, I used to go to school, go home, watch some cartoons, do something.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Have to have chaos.
Yeah.
Have to have drama.
Going back to the Anthony Metcalf case, I think that there will be some resolve out of this.
Yes.
And not only just for Anthony, but for Metcalf also, right? Because there have to be a space to where they can come together and like humanize this situation, right? And I know it's hard when you lost a son. I know it's hard when you lost a son to both of the mothers and both of the fathers. But then we have to understand, like, do we want this to happen again?
Yeah.
Right. So how can we use this landmark, momentous situation to really propel an umbrella to the rest of the world, to let them know that we need unity, we need love, and we need peace, and we could prevent this from happening in any other state, any other city, any other town, right? And that's give it something to emulate. Can we build off of this, right? We should. Because I see how the media portrays it, and we always say that the media is practically the number one.
Yeah,
right. How the media has taken a heated situation and turning it into a racial barrier. Right, you're taking 6 or 7 words that this side said, 6 or 7 words that this side said, and now you turn it into a big old soundbite kind of fuss and like, oh, it's a race war. It's not a race war. That's something that's way bigger than a race war right now that we are dealing with inside of the energy that I would love to prevent, you know, because I feel like America is doing everything that America needs to do. We are running on all cylinders, despite our laws that govern us and the structures and the resolutions that are in place, that we can collectively come together. Our doctors are doctoring, our mechanics are mechanicking, you know what I'm saying? Our lawyers are lawyering, you know what I mean? We're rolling. How can we how can we re-envision what an ecosystem would look like, you know, to where people wouldn't feel like they need to use the social media to high tech and put this bad stuff out. Our rappers don't feel like they have to glorify killing and drive-bying and disrespecting our women. And we come up with a space to where now everybody can be in their own individual home, safe, raising each other and figure out we can come up with pills to where we can live to see 1,000.
Yes, sir.
And do this for 1,000 years. You know what I mean? And that's just like my overall idea, man.
We always run out of time too quickly on these.
Too, man. So, man, I really appreciate the opportunity.
Man, we appreciate having you spread some of this wisdom, man.
As sharp as I am.
Yes, sir. As usual, man. Thank you, bro. Love you, homie. And proud of you, brother. If I never told you that in a while.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Proud of you too, man. I got my eyes on you.
Oh, yeah, I'm chilling.
I'm chilling.
Well, that concludes another episode of From Chains to Change. Thank you, Kiana, for joining us here and making the trip to Lafayette. Marcus, you want to take us home?
Okay, with that said, no surrender, no retreat.